My name's Sophie Stammers and I joined Project Perfect this year as a postdoctoral research fellow. So I'll be looking at the phenomenon of confabulation. So on a popular definition, a person confabulates when they provide an explanation that is not based on evidence and so is not well founded. Confabulation is distinct from putatively similar activities such as lying because the confabulator doesn't intend to deceive and doesn't typically notice that their explanation is not well founded. Now, some of the work on confabulation comes from considering clinical populations, so that's people living with a mental illness. Indeed, confabulation can be a feature of, for instance, Alzheimer's disease or schizophrenia. But people in the non-clinical population, that's people with no diagnosed mental illnesses, also typically confabulate. So these people have been shown to confabulate about a wide range of things, from consumer choices to political beliefs, hiring decisions, moral convictions, and even about their own emotional states. So some theorists propose that there may be psychological benefits to confabulating in the clinical cases, such as maintaining consistency in our picture of ourselves and of the world. And it's plausible that these psychological benefits are also had by non-clinical confabulators as well. But the dominant view of the epistemic character of confabulation is that it's bad. So that's to say it's bad because we don't end up with knowledge, but with false or ill-grounded cognitions. Now, I'll be joining others on the project, Lisa Bortolotti and Andrea Polonioli, in thinking about whether this view is wholly right or whether there might sometimes be epistemic benefits to confabulating as well as costs. Now, the direction in which I'll be taking this inquiry is in the development of an account of what I call narrative fluency. So narrative fluent cognitions can deliver some epistemic benefits even if they are false or ill-grounded. And this idea arises from the notion that we are deeply social and deeply communicative beings, and that we often rely on each other in shared epistemic endeavours. So think, for instance, of sharing the task of remembering the digits of a phone number with a friend when you don't have much time to look at the digits, so that you don't have to remember the whole sequence yourself. I think we regularly engage in these sorts of shared epistemic projects. But we also know that human cognition has limited processing power and frequently cuts corners, so often accessing information about your own cognition is a matter of making a good guess. Now, sometimes I think it might be beneficial to our epistemic partnerships if we don't spend too much time assessing whether our cognitive contributions are good or bad, but instead on presenting ourselves as reliable collaborators in a sort of continually and fluently unfolding epistemic narrative, even if our contributions there are not always well-founded. Now, in the circumstances, maintaining these partnerships might allow us to further epistemic goals that would be frustrated if we lost our partners, even if sometimes these contributions are confabulated. Now, I want to explore the notion of narrative fluency in the context of both the clinical and the non-clinical populations, as well as personal cases, in addition to the interpersonal cases just described. And of course, it will be important to consider the lived experiences of people living with a mental illness in which confabulation is a feature in the development of this account.